Hello everyone, welcome back to another video, and in today's video we are kicking off the New Year, New You series by talking about how to actually know what you want in life. So this video is going to be our pre-vision board video, which is going to talk all about how to actually know what you want in each category of your life, so you actually have a very clear path towards what you want to actually write on your vision board. In order to make this video easy for us to understand, we're going to be using the Wheel of Life. So for those of you that have watched some of my previous videos, I've referenced the Wheel of Life before. It is a phenomenal tool to use to actually understand how to navigate different areas of your life. So if you're interested, grab a cute drink. We're doing water today. Grab a pencil and a paper and let's get right into this video. Seriously guys, the pencil and paper is necessary in this one, so go grab it. Alright, so this video is actually not going to be broken down into chapters because the whole video is like the whole chapter. So here are the rules. What I've done is basically compiled using the reference of the Wheel of Life, different categories that we're going to go through. And essentially what you're going to do is write down 1, what you like about that category, 2, what you don't like about your life in terms of that category, and overall number 3, rating yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 when it comes to your life, how satisfied you are with that category. And what this is basically going to do for us is pinpoint areas of your life that are going super well and that we can brainstorm some light goals for, and then areas of your life where we really want to hone in into the new year. Category number 1, career and or school. I really want you to write down what it is that you don't like about your current career position or school position that you're in. For career, if you're currently working for a job that you're kind of getting tired of, you don't feel like you can be your best there, you feel like you want a promotion but that's not coming through, you want to write that here. Or maybe you're working in a field that you're not necessarily passionate about anymore and you want to do something a little bit different. You'd want to write that here as well. When it comes to school, I highly recommend look back at your grades and look to see if that is satisfactory for you. Are you enjoying the trajectory of your grades? Do you feel like that's good for you? And if you answer yes to this, I want you to ask yourself to make sure that that is still a field that you want to be in. Guys, remember that the field you choose to pursue in school, like if you don't even like that, make sure that you're honest and real with yourself about why you don't like that. Okay? Do it now. Don't do it later. Let's say you're not happy with your grades. Well, then what we want to do is really understand why it is that you're getting the grades that you're getting. Is it because you're going to sleep too late? Is it because you're procrastinating on work? What is it exactly that you don't like about the grades that you have? Moving on to what you actually enjoy. If you're in a current job where you're not necessarily happy with the promotion aspect of it, but you do like the people and the people that you're working with, your mentors, etc., then write that down. Make sure that you're also writing down the pros of these situations to allow you to have a bigger picture understanding of what you actually enjoy in those components of your life. When it comes to school, do you like your commute? Maybe you like your program. Maybe you like the career opportunities that this is going to give you. And then overall, you're basically going to give yourself a rating. So the rating we're going to do out of 10, so make sure that you write down where you feel in terms of that. Are you happy with where you're at in your career? Are you happy in where you're at with school? And write that down to allow you to have an understanding of where that is so we can work on things. Category number 2, finances. Exactly the same thing here. You need to write how you feel about your current financial position. What do you not like about it? Is it that you spend too much money? Is it that you don't know how to save your money in a way that the money will work for you? Maybe you have high interest debt that doesn't work correctly for you. Maybe it's that you want to increase your financial knowledge and start reading books that actually can benefit your financial interests. Going to the things that we actually enjoy about our finances. Maybe it's that you spent your money on some good things this year that actually brought you happiness and that you still use today. Maybe it's that you were actually able to manage a budget this year and you felt good about that. Maybe it's that you invested financially in great experiences for yourself. So one of the high ticket items that I did this year was I actually went to a spa and it cost me, I think honestly, $300, guys, to go to the spa, from like admission to having a massage to the food there, because it was literally so expensive. But I had such an amazing experience that I wrote this as one of the things that I actually felt good about, because I used that experience to really come into my present energy, to come into myself. And I also didn't have any big trips planned this year, so that was kind of my big little treat to myself. So write those things down. Write down if you have been investing correctly, if you have been, positively contributing to your investments. You want to have all this down because it's going to give you a big picture understanding of where you stand. And then lastly, rate it for yourself. All right, moving on to our next category, personal growth. Okay, so this is a really big one, and I've basically inserted this into our categories for our potential vision board because I think it's something that we really need to consider. Remember that you are the average of the 5 people you speak to, engage with, you kind of like communicate with or get information fed to you from on an everyday basis. So we need to ensure that we're actually leaning towards things that benefit us. So in terms of your personal growth, let's kind of think about things that you have been doing that are good and things that you've been doing that that are not necessarily as good for you. A good example is if you've stopped listening to maybe gossip podcasts and you actually lean towards podcasts that are positive for you. So some examples of podcasts that I really enjoy personally are Diary of a CEO. I love Date Yourself Instead with Liz Boss, a phenomenal podcast. I never miss a Monday. Okay, every time she posts, I'm like, yes, a new podcast episode for me to listen to. I listen to Self Obsessed with Tam Kaur. That one's also amazing. She does a phenomenal job on the topics. Absolutely great. I love Jay Shetty's podcast. That one is also phenomenal. Simran Kaur's podcast, Girls That Invest. That one's also really great for financial literacy. Oh, and the Psychology of Your 20s. Okay, if you have not been listening to this podcast, I highly recommend. The Psychology of Your 20s literally talks all about struggles that we go through in our 20s, and it does a phenomenal job of touching on so many different topics that we go through, and they're so highly relatable. Something else you might want to consider here are the books that you read, or maybe have you not been reading as much because other things have come up? Think about things on that aspect. Have you been maybe partying and not investing enough in your personal growth on an active basis? When it comes to the positive things that you've been doing, maybe you have been listening to great podcasts. Maybe you have been following YouTubers online for self-help, and that's helped you a lot in terms of your growth journey. Maybe you've been journaling on a regular basis, or you've been doing voice notes or video diaries, and that's really helped you kind of unpack your trauma. Maybe you've been seeking help and going to therapy for your personal growth, and that's helped you a lot when it comes to growing as a person. A really quick book recommendation for you, if you're trying to become the best version of yourself, and while you're going through kind of your life audit, this is a phenomenal book that really changed my life when it came to up-leveling. And it's called Be Your Future Self Now by Dr. Benjamin Hardy. I have recommended this book before, and I'm going to keep recommending it because truly this book, as you can see, your girl literally went through and put in little sticky notes of the parts that I really enjoyed. But this book does a phenomenal job of actually bringing you into your current energy and allowing for you to actually plan for a successful future for yourself. So I highly recommend you read this book so you get rid of self-sabotage and you actually allow yourself to up-level and become the best version of yourself. I will link this book in the description box down below if you're interested in reading. You could also probably check Spotify Premium to see if you can actually get access to the audiobook version of this. And huge disclaimer, guys, for those of you that don't know, Spotify Premium actually comes with 10 hours of free audiobooks. So if you're not using that, please check it out. See if it's something that interests you and see if the audiobooks on there that are included in Spotify Premium really spark an interest in you. Category number 4, health in terms of mental health and physical health. When it comes to mental health, maybe you actually did more meditation this year. Maybe you were able to actually have positive boundaries and conversations with people. Perhaps spending time with yourself and allowing for you to be a priority this year. In terms of things that you might not have liked when it came to maybe physical health, perhaps you said that you were going to work out quite a few days a week, maybe 4 days a week, but you actually didn't end up doing that. It could even be your eating patterns. Maybe it got to a point where you started eating too much sugar and you started breaking out a lot. Happened to me, I broke out. So that's something I put on my life audit, that I need to really make sure that I'm controlling my food intake and not having too much sugar just because I really want it without knowing that it could actually harm me in the long run. So really consider here what it is when it comes to your health to ensure that you're being successful with this into the new year. And then an overall rating. Category number 5, family. So now what you want to do is really look back at what has happened with you and your family this entire year to get a good understanding of where you stand with this. So did you and your family have many fights this year, or was it a smooth sailing relationship? Were you able to communicate better with them? Did you harness better relationships with your family? Did you guys have wonderful moments together? Maybe it's a trip that you guys took that was extremely memorable and that's something that you really enjoyed. What it could even be is maybe you and a family member just don't get along very well now, and you want to be honest and truthful with yourself about that. So write that down. Write down what it is about that situation that just doesn't sit well with you. Write down if there are family members that you feel closer to this year or that you feel further away from. All of these pieces of information are super crucial and very important when it comes to making our vision boards very soon. Number 6, your romantic relationships. Okay, so we were obviously going to get here. Your partner will make or break you, okay? They will make or break your future, so please be honest with yourself here, because this is quite literally a person that is in a partnership with you. They're your partner. Really consider what you like about your relationship, or if you're not in a relationship, consider what you like about your singlehood, and then also consider where you're at in terms of dating maybe. So this year has been a little bit of a roller coaster for me, from being single to dating to being in a relationship to then dating to then being single for the rest of the year. So what I can truly say for you guys is just be honest with yourself about this process process because it's super important to really unpack a lot of the things that have happened to you this year. And here are a few examples. If you're in a relationship, think about the great things about it. Is it that you and your partner communicate quite well? Is it that you guys go on great dates that are memorable and you feel like both of you actually enjoy? Is it that you guys actually feel a very strong connection towards each other and the love that you share together is very meaningful? Some cons could be, are you guys just not on the same page when it comes to many things in your life? Is it that compromise is an issue between the two of you? Is it maybe that you feel like you're growing apart from your partner and it might not be something that is sustainable in the long term? When it comes to actively dating, maybe some pros are that you're getting to experience new people. You're getting to talk to different people and thus allowing you to understand what it is you actually want in a person. It might be that you've met a few friends this year. Maybe you went on a few dates with some guys, but you realized that maybe it's just better on a friendship level and now you have new friends. How amazing is that? So maybe write that down as a pro if that is your situation. A con could be that maybe you're not being as expressive when it comes to your dating life. Maybe you're not setting yourself up for success or picking the wrong guys to go on dates with. And lastly, if you're single, some of the pros might be that you have more time to invest in your goals and the things that you're trying to do. It might be that you've actually learned to love yourself and experience you for who you are and truly learn to love you authentically for yourself. Maybe it's the number of solo dates that you took yourself on and how much that grew you as a person, and that links back to your personal development. Some cons might be if you felt lonely, if you felt moments of, loneliness, and that's something you want to work on so that you don't feel that in the future. Think about all these things when it comes to your romantic relationships. And lastly, rate that so we know to use it for later. Category number 7, friends. Okay, so we knew we were going to come to this one too. So friends, you really need to be honest with yourself about the friend groups that you're in and the people that you're experiencing and the people that sit well with you and the ones that just don't. For this one, I want you to go even a step further when it comes to actually evaluating who is in your life currently as your friend and how they positively and negatively impact you. So you're basically going to write your friend's name, pros of that relationship, and cons of that relationship, okay, from a friend level as well. And then what you're going to do is an overall friendship level in terms of yourself. So how do you feel about the friendships that you have in your life, pros and cons of that? And so we can use that to see what we can do better in the future. The reason why I say you need to go on a friendship by friendship level with this is because it is so important to get an understanding of who is actually your friend and who is not. And I understand, guys, sometimes growing up, it is so incredibly difficult to understand like who is your friend and who is not, who has a positive impact on you and who doesn't. But please let this be clear. The people that you carry through on your self-love, self-growth journey, it is very important for you to pick the right people to be in that circle for you. Number 8, your social life and your hobbies. So what I want you to do is go through some great things that you did for your social life this year and hobbies, as well as some things that maybe you want to do a little bit more of. Maybe you want to, you didn't feel like you did enough of that hobby, or maybe there's a hobby that you had that you want to revisit and you didn't do that this year. Personally, for me, one of the great things I did in terms of my social life and hobbies this year is I walked a fashion show. I walked a literal fashion show ramp this year, which I never thought I would do, but I ended up doing it. And this was something very out of the box for me. And I realized that when I do out of the box things, it makes me feel really great about myself. It makes me feel really in tune with who I am as a person and just allows me to experience things to the fullest potential. In terms of cons, maybe it's that you didn't spend enough time with friends this year, or you didn't spend enough time doing things that you actually wanted to do. Maybe it's that you really wanted to visit the pumpkin patch, but that didn't happen this year for fall. Maybe it's that, you had a hobby that you really wanted to do, let's say horseback riding, but you didn't invest the time necessary to really do that this year. So be honest with yourself about this category so we can use this to ensure that we cultivate our goals for 2025. And again, rate this. Number 9, and this is something that I wanted to really add to this life audit because I think it is so crucial that we understand this perspective, and that is your overall attitude. What was your mindset this year? Did you have a glass half full approach? Did you try to have mindset shifts on the things that, have been taunting you for the past few years? What is it that you did this year in order to actually have that groundedness or change your attitude this year? Or what is it that you didn't do that didn't change your attitude this year? Are you still the person that you were at the beginning of this year? Did you lack discipline? Were you maybe not as responsible as you wanted to be? Did you lack time management? Were there times where you wish you actually showed up on time, but you were late quite a few times this year? Did you start implementing habits and then run short on them after? Really be honest with yourself in this category, guys, because this is going to make or break your year. Understand that all these goals that we spoke about will not be possible if you do not have the right mindset. If you don't have that mindset shift of understanding that you can actually do it, that yes, the glass is half full. You have an opportunity here to become the best version of yourself. Use it. This is the key of, preparing for our vision board and understanding that 2025 can be your year if you get it clear right now. The reason why I'm saying we need to do this life audit is because there was something my professor once told me in my Master's of Accounting class when I did case study writing. And she literally said, she was like, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And this has stuck with me my entire life after doing my MAC. And truly it is in essence the reality of it. If you fail to plan either your days, your goals, literally your reading list, anything that you can actually plan, if you fail to plan that, you literally plan to fail because you won't have a clear guideline and pathway towards achieving your goals. So that is why this video is literally listing down everything for you in all these categories that have true meaning for your life to ensure that you can up-level going into 2025. All right, so that is all for our video today on your life audit and how to really understand what you want in your life. Again, like I said, this is the prep towards your vision board and creating an ultimate vision board for 2025. And that video is going to come out super soon to help you make a vision board that actually works, guys. All right, I believe in you. I know you can do it, and I'll see you next time.